Alright, so here we are, round one. We won the die roll. I would like to play first. Alright. Seems like a keepable hand. It has 2 swamps and 2 sign and blood. So as long as we get the 3rd swamp, which the 2 sign and blood should help us, we should be good. We're playing against Joan ESP, which I believe plays Hexproof, so not sure if that is what they're playing, my opponent is playing today, but we will see. And that appears to be what my opponent is. And another sign in blood, so looks like I will be drawing a lot of cards and losing a lot of life. Play the witches first to get a permanent on the board, and if I don't draw a swamp next turn, I'll be signing and blooding myself. Otherwise, I'll be playing either a specter or a rat. Alright, my opponent is drawing cards, and we will likely be drawing cards. Oh no, we will be setting my opponent back a card. I think the Hexproof matchup versus Mono Black control is very interesting because my Edict effects work, but my tendrils and witches do not work at killing their creatures, so one of my prior versions of the deck had much more Edict effects, so I've taken more of those out to have better matchups against other decks, but that comes at the expense of making it weaker against this matchup and against eye candy. But we will see how much of an effect that has if I can win this match or not. Good, I'm hitting all my land drops, which is nice. Hopefully, off of these sign and bloods, I will be able to draw some gray merchants before my opponent gets a creature with an armadillo cloak going. Right now, my opponent is probably stuck on a ton of auras in hand. And I choose to play the Spectre now just because I want to get as much damage in as possible before my opponent can get a creature with an armadillo cloak on it. I'm not sure whether or not I should cycle this Baron Moor or not. I do have 3 Sign and Bloods, and I do only need to get to 5 mana to bring Gary out. And other than that, I do run 2 Corrupts, but I don't need that much mana unless I'm going to be flashing back in Edict, which I currently do not have any now, so I'm going to cycle the Baron Moor at the end of turn. Alright, so now my opponent gets his first creature, and he's going to be throwing on some enchantments on it. So he puts 2 Rancors on it, but no Armadillo Cloak. There we go, just what I wanted. An edict will be great at killing that guy, because Hexproof does not protect you against edicts. So, and if he had another creature in his hand, he wouldn't have waited so long to play it. So that means he needs another creature to be on top of his library right now. I will make some use of these Sign and Bloods before I attack, just because no reason not to. And I will be swinging in for 5. Great, I got another edict, so it looks like this game is probably going to be wrapped up on the fact that I'm swinging for 5 and he has no creature. This edict will kill any creature that he plays here, and it looks like he has something. And then that would mean he'll need another creature. Oh, is he not playing? He was just faking. Alright, so he's at 10. Was he still in combat? Alright, so he has another hexproof guy, which I will edict, and then he needs to have another creature on top of his library right now. Yeah, that won't do you any good. Let's see here. If I attack... No, I need to edict him because he can block. And then, no matter what, now, even if he draws another creature, I can just play Gary. And he conceded. He knew that that game was not winnable. I won that game because he only drew 2 creatures. And here we get our nice lag. Alright, siding in against this match, I always bring in 2 guest verdicts. And I will take out targeted removal because they do not run many creatures that targeted removal is on. Although they do run the aura guy, the green guy. So I might want to bring... I'll keep in 2 of them for that little aura guy. And let's see, so we're bringing a Stinkweed Imp to block... Stinkweed Imp can block their elf that has one of their elves that can only block the Ledgewalker. And I'll bring in a Nausea because when they play their guy, they don't have anything to cast on them. They might have a bunch of 1/1s in play. Now let's see, what do I not want in this matchup other than targeted removal? I'll leave in those 2, and I might want to bring in Wrench Mind or Choking Sands here. I'm going to be on the draw. Often when I'm on the draw, I'll take out a Sign and Blood, but here I think I want to take out Shinobi, and either that for a Choking Sand or a Wrench Mind. I'll put in the Choking Sand. Maybe I can screw him on mana. That looks good. Consider this matchup to be a lot like the matchup against Eye Candy, where they want to get a big threat in play, and then they want to protect it. And against Eye Candy, they protect it with their blessing spells and with some counter magic. And in this matchup, they protect their creatures just by making sure all their creatures have hexproof except for the aura shard. I will be mulliganing this hand as it has 1 land and 2 5-drops. My opponent mulliganed, and as shall I. This hand is also terrible, but I don't like mulliganing anyways, and so hopefully I will draw my way out of this. Young Wolf. They play Young Wolf to combat against our edict effects, and which I also do when I play Hexproof. I have, I think, I might run between 2 and 4 Young Wolves in the main deck, and then more in the sideboard to negate any edict effects. Yeah, it does not look good for this game, but I'll be using my removal here on the Young Wolf because it is something that I can actually target with. And then if he has no other creatures, hopefully my Edict will be able to get rid of his Slippery Boogle. And there's the Aura guy, and let's see, I will cycle the Baron more. Wonder if I Edict him, which card he will sacrifice. We will find out. He sacrifices the Boogle. Or Boggle. Oh look, they're both actually beasts. I did not know that. So now he's another Hexproof guy, and he will play an Aura on his land, which gives this guy +1/+1. And I draw more swamps. Another swamp. Well, I'm one swamp away from being able to corrupt this guy. Hopefully he does not have enough auras here to bring this guy's toughness higher than 6. If he has an Armadillo Cloak on it now, I will most likely lose 3 mana. Oh boy, that makes it game over. 14 damage, I lose. Alright, should I sideboard differently now for the last game? What would I potentially do differently? I could bring in the Witches to help me deal with the Young Wolf. I could bring in Wrench Mind to help me deal with his hand size because he runs no artifacts, or I could bring in Choking Sand to help me deal with the lands that he enchants. Now, what would I take out from any of these cards? Everything in my current deck seems fairly decent. The only thing I can imagine taking out would be Corrupts, because they're just pretty slow against him. And I think I will do that. I will take out 1 Corrupt. And what will I put in? Should I put in a Witch, a Wrench Mind, or another Choking Sand? I run 2 Wrench Minds in the main and 3 Witches. So I think I want to go with the Choking Sand. I just run 2 Choking Sands in the sideboard, and now I will have them both in. And I've taken out the Corrupt. Now I have 1 Corrupt, and as we saw in that last game, I drew Corrupt, and it was just too slow. I will keep this hand. I have my one remaining corrupt in the deck in my opener. And I have a witch and a guest's verdict. So hopefully the witch will be able to lessen the impact of Young Wolf. I will need to be drawing another swamp soon, as right now the only other card in my hand I can cast is this verdict. Ooh, protection from Black Guy and Young Wolf, same turn. Alright, so I drew the other land that I needed, so now I have options here. I can Oublet the Young Wolf and then get a guess verdict in a future time. I can Choking Sands one of his lands. He chose white on that one and green on this one. So I would target this one to cut him off from white mana, and I think that is what I want to do. That way he will not be able to cast Armadillo Cloak. And I will just pass the turn. So now his mana is at 2 green mana. Let's see if he plays another land. Alright, he has a Hexproof guy and a Young Wolf. This is going to be tough for my deck to beat. We will swing in for 1. I'll put a +1/+1 counter on his guy because I'm nice. Alright, so right now he has 3 guys out and I have 1 guess verdict, so things are not looking good. I will side and blood myself, means I lose 2 life, and I draw that, which is useless. So it looks like I will be taking at least 4 next turn. So he has me on about a 3-turn clock, probably less because I will end up causing myself to lose some life. I really need to... Oh boy, I don't know if there's anything I can draw at this point to win. And I draw another Raga. Three green mana makes... He looks like he's casting Armadillo Cloak. He just tapped their mana wrong. Yep, Armadillo Cloak. 1, 2, 3, 4. He gets to swing for 8. I cannot stop any of that, so I will concede game. Alright, so there's round 1. Unfortunately, we did not win that one. But we can still win the next 3 and win a prize.